Hello and welcome back to another Classic WoW video. Today we are talking about what I choose to call the reality of investing in items in Classic WoW. Basically, we are talking about the pros and cons of investing in items, as well as my take on whether or not investing in general will be a success. If you have invested in items or are planning to invest in items, this might be one of those videos you want to watch, as it may provide useful information that will help you decide which items to invest in. But before we get into that, I'm just going to let you know about my World of Warcraft Discord channel, which you can join through a link in the description, by the way. If you have any questions, that might be the best place to ask, as you'll get answers from me and all of the others in the Discord as well, so you'll get more point of views. It's mostly focused on gold making and Classic, however, I will add channels to BFA and the next expansion as well, since I will make gold making guides on retail as well. So if gold making is something you're into and you want to chat with other gold makers, join the Discord channel. Alright, let's get into it. Investing in items. Why do people do this? Basically, we're all trying to make gold, and investing in items is basically printing gold if it goes well. You can turn 1,000 gold into 5,000 gold or even more, depending on how you spread your gold across different items and different categories of items. I have made 2 separate videos on investing in items, showcasing the best items to invest in general, but this is where it gets tricky. Reddit, YouTube and Twitch is full of people showcasing these general best items to invest in. So a lot of people are aware that these items are of high demand later on, so a lot of people invest in them. For example, Shadowfang. Everyone is buying and stockpiling this at the moment, waiting for Phase 2 or Phase 3 to sell it to Twinks. However, when the time comes to sell it, everyone that has been stockpiling it will be selling it at the exact same time, and it will just be a mess. The selling process will consist of constantly checking the auction house, refreshing it to see if anyone undercut you, for them to undercut them, and then some idiot will start undercutting it by several gold instead of 1 copper to start selling it quickly, and boom, the item will absolutely fall down in price. As a quick example of something like this that has already happened, there was a time in BFA, I believe it was when 8.1 or 8.2 came out, everyone was stockpiling enchanting materials, especially the shards and the crystals, because there were new raids coming out, you could get better gear from dungeons, item levels were raised, and catch-up gear was coming out, meaning literally everyone would need new enchants. So everyone and their mother and their house pets were investing in enchanting materials, and once the patch dropped, everyone was trying to sell it, and what happened was, the material actually dropped below their initial investment value. What I mean by this is that 4 months before the patch, each crystal was like 100 gold, and this is when everyone was buying it as an investment, expecting it to reach over 300 gold when the patch came out. However, when the patch came out, the price fell to under 75 gold due to massive amounts of people trying to sell the crystals and shards at the same time. So people were actually losing money on their investments, and the prices never really picked up. I believe they went up to 90 gold at one point, but you were still losing money. By the way, these numbers are just placeholders since I don't remember the exact amount they sold for, but the percentages are correct. You ended up with a 25% loss in your investment. I am really worried about this happening in Classic as well, because in Classic pretty much everyone is investing in something, and there's many generic or obvious items to invest in, like Twink items or Black Lotus or materials used in Flask crafts. And I feel like because so many people are actually investing in those items, when the time comes to sell them, first of all, selling them will be tough because of competition, but you will also end up making very little profit due to massive amounts of supply. So what can we do to avoid this? Well, first of all, you can sell your items either before or after the initial selling point. This would typically be 2 to 4 weeks before the patch comes out, or 2 to 4 months or more after the patch comes out. So other people will either have sold or not started to sell their items. In BFA I found that the crystals and shards were selling higher 1 to 2 weeks before the patch came out, as that's when the people I like to call casuals wanted to join in on the investing, and just stockpiling their own enchanting materials because they also suspected the items would go up. So 1 to 2 weeks before the patch came out, you could actually make a decent profit, like 25 to 50% profit by selling off your investment. This could also work for Classic, so 1 to 2 weeks before Phase 2 comes out, sell the items you're planning to sell in Phase 2, or 1 to 2 weeks before Phase 3 comes out, sell the items you're planning to sell in Phase 3, and so on. Now I know Classic has a way different economy than BFA, and supply versus demand ratio will be different, but I still don't know if it will be better or if it will be worse. And this is all speculation, and it's a decision each of us will have to make. What I do know for certain is that it will be easier to sell your items if you sell them before or after everyone else sells their items due to less competition on the market. So there's that. Less competition also means less undercutting, which again means more profit and faster sales. Another way to avoid this whole chaos is to invest in items that other people are not investing in. For this method, it's all about thinking outside the box, like investing in cosmetics, holiday items, fun items, pets, anything that the general investors don't invest in, and where you'll have way less competition selling items. For Classic, this is a very niche market, and for example, if you try to sell transmog items, there will be a very small amount of possible buyers. Same goes for pets or cosmetics, only a certain few will actually care about that stuff. But there's still profit to be made, and the ones that are actually interested in it might be willing to spend tons of gold on the items they want. A huge part of investing in items is also customer manipulation. Public figures have a great power here and might try to be influencing your decision without you knowing it. If you watch a streamer farm a certain item or certain items for hours upon hours, and it has a very low drop rate, for example, let's say Suden is farming a transmog item that drops roughly once every 10 hours and sells for 400k on the auction house. If you have several million gold, you might feel like buying that item and try to flip it for more profit, but end up not making profit at all because so many people will be farming it because they watch their favorite streamer farming that item. Or when you watch Want to Buy Gold farming battle pets, you might feel like investing in whatever battle pet is flavor of the month according to his videos, and you might end up losing gold on your investment because after a week or two it loses its value. Now this is not even something most public figures do on purpose, but it's just whenever a video starts getting views, people start farming whatever item is supposed to make profit more, because they become more aware of those items, and investors also become aware of that market and they see possible flip possibilities. However, in the investors market, it's all about being fast and making the right decisions, since the earlier you invest, the more profit you'll make. For example, when Classic came out, I bought 6 feet of the links for between 10 and 20 gold each, while now they're already 40 gold plus. I also bought a lot of larval assets for under 1 gold each, while now they're up to 8 gold. I could keep listing examples like this, but I believe I've made the point pretty clear. You want to start investing early. So there it is, the reality of investing, the risks you take and how it can potentially backfire. Based on this video, I hope you made up your mind on when to sell items, and you understand that even good or logical investments might even backfire because of the amount of people investing in them, and the amount of items that will be available once they're hot. In my honest opinion, I would consider selling 1 to 2 weeks before the patch comes out, or hold on to the item like 4 weeks into the patch, meaning you give other people a lot of time to sell their items first. Otherwise you will be faced with constant undercuts, you will spend hours running in between the auction house and the mailbox, cancelling auctions and undercutting people who undercut you. On top of all this, you will also 100% have some idiot who undercuts you by more than 1 copper and instead undercuts it by, let's say, 5 gold, and if that keeps happening, the prices of those items will drastically drop. Keep in mind that most of this research and these examples are from BFA or retail, and none of us really know exactly how it will play out in Classic due to it being a new game and a completely new economic, and the market will be driven by how much gold gets introduced to the game, aka how many people are farming raw gold drops. I know I talked a lot in this video, but I hope some of you found this information useful and helpful, and maybe it helps you make a bit of extra gold by selling early or selling late. Time will tell. Alright, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please slap that like button, and if you want to see more videos, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. That's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one.